Good morning, Discord. Good morning, YouTube. Let's get into it. Okay, we hit all-time highs in pre-market. Pretty exciting for the long-term portfolios. Pretty exciting for the long-term portfolios. All right, today's Friday. Trade light, okay? Trade light. All the contracts are they're expiring today. Morning, Doug. All right, so we have the 5MA at around 708.65. Let's see if we grab some liquidity off the 5. We're gonna look for a BRR underneath the 5. Before we start, do not consider this financial advice. Trading stocks involve risk. The owner of the channel, the traders that appear in the broadcast, and affiliate companies are not liable for any loss inflicted in relation to its content. And then go to livespytrading.com so I can get you sorted out. All right, let's begin. Let's begin. All right, so first order of business is going to be seeing what's going on, what they want to do inside this liquidity box right here. First order of business, if we get a break and retest under here to the 5, then we're just going to gather some more data. Yeah, I have Friday rules for myself, especially after a day like yesterday. I don't want to give up any wins. We had huge wins, huge wins yesterday. Congratulations to everyone that was a part. And if not, your time's coming. Relax. All right, let's see if we grab some liquidity off the 5 right here. It's at 708.51. Currently, the price is 710.05. Let's see what we do right here on the bottom of this liquidity box right here. So basically, we want to know if we're going to do this right here. Or if we're going to do this. This is what we're trying to find out. So the 5MA is the great redeemer. Also, public service announcement. I'm going to call it a bit early today. Today I'm going to have to call it just a bit early. I'll get you guys going with some plays. And then I'm going to head out. Let's let a cycle or two go by. All right, so we're on the charts. We are below the water, maybe starting, maybe about to start a bear cycle, but we're still above the water technically. So this right here, this 709.97. There's some liquidity here. Let's see what happens when it breaks. All right, so let me explain what we have going on right now. Make sure the Discord's paying attention. Listen up. Now, let's say the price never gets to the 5. Let's say it just decides to turn around right here. You know, when I'm drawing something like this, what I'm saying is we need this to happen. We need to test the 5 in order to have a better idea of what to expect next. So if it doesn't do exactly this, then we need to wait for the next setup. All right, Chen with the 12%. 12%, hell yeah. That's a good way to start the morning. Good way to start the morning. So in order for this 5 to even be reasonable, you know, we want to see something like this, right? Hold on. We want to see something like this. Because we already identified this as a liquidity box. So if they grab liquidity off the bottom of this, then we know they're done with this area, with this zone, right? Because every, you know, we go level by level, right? So that means this level here has been taken out. I think yesterday it was a pretty good example showing that they tested it once and then they came back and tested it again. I'm not saying this exact one, right? But so you would have had to hold for, I don't know, I think this probably took like 20 minutes for the retest, and then finally, so you would have had to hold for all 20 minutes. But I'm sure in that time, a lot of us would have already been moving our stop, been stopped out, maybe somewhere around here, just to have it retrace and then continue. So it's hard to know the next level, right? Because we want to go level by level. It's hard to know. So when I say, even if you get $3, $8, take the win, it's going to take you time before you're, you know, letting the play out. So take the win instead of keep stopping yourself out in between. And for me, it's Friday rules. The Friday rules, either trade light or don't trade at all. They like to, on Fridays, they like it to go sideways. You know, I've said this the last, I don't know how long. And then every Friday, like, it has big movement. But usually I don't trade Fridays. I'm okay with that. Especially after yesterday. Yesterday was a phenomenal, I mean, everyone saw what happened yesterday. That was a good day. So look, any reasonable puts are going to have to be underneath the 5. From this point here, if you want some quote unquote safety, it has to be underneath the 5. I'm gonna clean up the chart, right? So we know that the 5 is a thing. So let me clean up the chart and let me get to work. I'm here. I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit. All right, let's look to see if we get a little spike up on the break of this purple. Dang, the test is kind of far because we really need to get to 1330. The only way to really test it is if we break purple and then get all the way up here. So that's kind of far. Maybe we'll try. I mean, I guess we can try 1121. So we want to see if we're gonna stay in the purple or break it and get to 1121. All right, we're gonna see if either this blue or this purple gets us some movement. We want to test to see if blue can get us to underneath the 5. Everything is sideways. All right, let's see if it breaks 710.53 and gets us to the top of the lick box. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, Chen. Look, we see we have a short-term line in the sand right here. Here's the tiny lick box within a lick box. The inception of lick boxes. Give it a second. Look, for right now, your safety plays are going to be BRR above 1119, BRR below the 5. That's the safety plays. If you're playing in between here, this is the risk. If you're playing around in between here, this is the risk. But we do see really good liquidity building up right in here. Really good liquidity. So I think if it breaks one way or the other, we should get some movement. When I'm saying breaks one way or the other, I mean, let's say it does this or it does this. All right, so we like the blue, and we're gonna keep this purple. We like blue, we're gonna keep blue. So this is what we know. We're in purple until we're not. Now we gotta look for this. If there's going to be any upside, we want to see if they grab liquidity from the bottom of purple. They're going to make this a shoulder, and then we'll see if they make a shoulder. We want to see this, or possibly this. If not, this is the only up scenario, right? Whatever I have here, these two. If not, we're just in purple.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
All right, Discord, I put the plays on the 5-minute. If you don't understand it, you need to let me know now. Let me know now, or forever hold your pieces, or forever hold your butts. I'm just going to clean up the chart just a little bit. We already see what's happening. I already explained everything. Just going to clean it up so it's less noise on the screen. If you're looking for puts and your safety is going to be underneath the 5. That hasn't changed. Quote unquote safety. All right, so if you're trading off the 5-minute chart, your exit strategy should be based on the 5-minute chart. If you're trading on the 1 minute, you're probably scalping, and your exit strategy should probably be on the 1-minute chart. So look, we know we're in this movement here. Here's our movement. We're in this movement here. So while we're in this, we're in purple until we're not. So both reasonable call scenarios, we need to break out of the purple, right? We need to firmly break out of the purple for any reasonable call scenario. Now, if you're looking for puts, again, wait for underneath the 5. Just wait for it. If you're looking for puts and you're not scalping, just wait for underneath the 5. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's use the teal instead. All right, we see a little bit of weakness in this purple now. So if they're gonna stay in purple, they need a strong rejection somewhere along this purple. And again, breaking this teal and a reject. So we need to reject the purple and break this teal. A little bit of weakness coming in here. And then all these are still valid. I'm just gonna move it over to the side. All that's still valid, probably here. I'll just use that one. It needs to be like this actually. All right, look, if you're looking for a little bit more quote-unquote safety, I'll say it again. BRR above 1121 for calls, and then under the 5 for puts. If you're not a fan of the price action, sit on your hands for a little bit and wait for some type of obvious direction. Let it be obvious to you what the direction is. If you just sit on your hands, you don't have to, you're not going to get 100% of the play anyway. It's not going to happen. We're not going to get 100%. We should already put that in our mind. Is it lagging? Let me check. Let me check. On my end, it looks like it says it's solid. It says it's going fine, but Chen, I think that's your Walmart internet connection. You're probably using your neighbor's Wi-Fi. Maybe if you didn't do that, you probably have a better connection. All right, now look, this 710, what did I say earlier? 710.53, a lot of resistance right here. So let's see when it breaks, how they react. Okay. $27.28% profit. 10. Good job today. Call it a day. Go enjoy your 27%. Now, instead of just stealing Starbucks Wi-Fi, you can actually buy a coffee. All right, let's see if they get that second bite at the apple. Chen, in about, I don't know, maybe 5-6 minutes more, I'm going to show you why you need to join the Discord. Let's give it a little bit of time. I'm going to show you. All right, we need to form support at, what is this? 996 for a continuation. There's heavy resistance at this 1054 level, so it needs to break this 1054. Like that. All right, protect your trade. Protect your trade. I'm not saying to stop yourself out. I'm saying protect your trade. If you get $3, $4, $10, who cares? You need to protect the trade. We need to get a close above this 1054. All right, Discord, here are the two options. Either this is going to continue or this right here. One of the two. If you're looking for any type of quote unquote safety, you're waiting for a break and retest above what is this? Above 1119 or the 5. Nothing's changed. If you're scalping, get your money and get out. But this 1054, it needs to they need to close above it. All right, so the you need to figure out if you're going to survive a weak cycle or not. If you're in calls, you need to figure out if you're going to survive a weak cycle or not. We're back in market open. Okay. Now we got to see how we react to this teal right here. If you're still holding or waiting to take a trade, let the direction be obvious. Just let it be obvious. You don't have to try to guess. Here, I'm gonna put instead of having the dotted line there, I'm just gonna put this right here. Oh wait, why'd I do that? This is a major level here. I'm just going to highlight it. Okay, so whether you're in calls or puts right now, you see where your stops need to be on either side, right? Because it's a sideways chop. So if you're stuck in the middle, you see where your stops need to be. Here's your high, here's your low. If you're in the Discord, there's two paths only. So when one of those stop out, then you're waiting for the next setup. Or you can say, we had a good day yesterday. No reason to risk it today. I'll say it again if you're just joining. If you're looking for any type of safety underneath the 5 for puts, above 11, what is this? 1121 or 1119 for calls. And I'll draw the chop again. If you're playing around in here, this is the risk. because we need one of those things to happen, right? We need either this or this to happen so we know what to do, because we don't have any sense of direction yet. This line right here, this 1054 is heavy resistance, so a lot needs to happen to break to the upside.
bitch on that beat going crazy.
Okay. 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 Remember I asked you, are you going to hold for the week cycle? There's the week cycle that played out. Now, if you're in the call, you need to adjust your stops. All right, look, I told Chen I was gonna show him why you need to join the Discord. Here's why. Hold on, let me see. I'll let it play a little bit more, but I guess we can play it now. It's a tight, choppy situation, so I'll just go through it right now. All right, look, in the Discord, here we go. I'm gonna explain everything. Now we see a lot of gobbledygook on the screen. I'm gonna take away the put scenario setup. Watch. I'm just gonna take away this put scenario setup. Now look, this someone just stated, Doug just stated about the inverse head and shoulders. This is the same inverse head and shoulders that has always been here. Nothing's changed. Here goes the other shoulder right here, right? It's right here. This has been here for God, I don't even know how long now. So we've already had the inverse head and shoulders. Let me, just gonna slide. I'm just sliding this over. I'm just sliding it over to the right. There it is. Look, this has already been here. So now I'm going to put back that put scenario. In order for this put scenario to happen, we needed to close. I'm going to put back I'll put it back. I'm going to put everything back the way I had it. Look, so the put scenario was either a bear flag, right? If this bear flag was going to happen, we needed to close below this teal right here. So I'm going to highlight this teal to show you. Now, if you're looking at this and you don't know what I'm talking about, because you got to join the Discord. All the plays, all the setups, everything I talk about is in the Discord. You got to go through the lessons. I give entries and exits. So we needed to close below this teal for the put scenario. It wicked, but it never closed below the teal. Okay? And then, so I'm gonna take it away again. This has always been here. Always. So in order for there to be puts, we had to at least close below this teal right here. In order for there to be calls, we needed to either reject off of here and buy our calls on the break of this purple here. Does everyone, or you could have got this break up, this purple here. So if you did this purple here, I'm just gonna highlight it so we could see it. If you did this purple here, that's what I was telling you. If you're in calls, ask yourself, are you gonna hold for the week cycle? Here's the week cycle for continuation. Okay, this is what I was asking everybody. Figure out if you're gonna take profit or are you gonna hold for the week cycle? Can you survive the week cycle? Look at this perfection. Look at this perfection on this. Damn near, I was a couple cents off. Couple cents, it's still going, but. So this is all in the Discord way ahead of time. The only, and actually, if I'm being honest, the only put setup was below the 5. Because I've been saying it all goddamn day. All day I've been saying it. Below the 5 is the only put scenario. And this is our call scenario. It's been on here for damn near at least 30 minutes. At least 30, 45 minutes has been on here. And the only other put scenario, and I asked everyone, do you understand what's going on? Do you understand the plays? So I can't be much more precise than exact. I just can't. Now, if you're not able to hold, if you're getting in, and that's why I told you, whichever play you're in, you know where your stop loss needs to be. Whichever one, because maybe some people started. I don't know if some people took puts. Maybe, I don't know. But the put scenario never presented itself. Never. We needed to. You can't hear. Oh, okay. We needed to at least wait for this to break. We needed to wait for this to break. If it was going to be the bear flag. But because it didn't break, we actually went back above. I mean, either way, it was the break of purple, the break of purple. That was the play. Look how perfect it played out. Look at this. Look at this. It went exactly to where my drawing was. This is precise. This is precise. So look, if you took purple, whichever one, you had two options on purple. This one or this one. Okay, did everyone in the Discord, did you guys understand what the setup was or how it worked? Did you understand what I was saying? Ask yourself, are you going to hold for the week cycle? This is what I'm talking about. Are you holding for the week cycle or not? If not, go ahead and take your money. If you're on the 1 minute chart and you're scalping, fine, scalp. And then I also told you where you needed to put your stop. If we broke the purple, you know where your stop needed to be. If we broke this teal, you know where your stop needed to be. Very simple. Very simple. Now, I get it. It's choppy and scary, but that's why instead of trading off of vibes, we use the data that we have. And if we get stopped out, we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with that because here's the other option. You keep playing around while it's doing this and not letting the play out. Even though I'm saying, hey, look, are you going to hold for the week cycle? I shouldn't be giving you my bias, but I'm kind of giving you a bias, telling you maybe there's going to be a weak cycle here, right? And if you took purple, maybe you got to hold. And then I even told you exactly where your stops needed to be. Now we hit the target. Now you're adjusting your stop. This is perfection. This is absolute perfection. And I also gave one opportunity to get in on calls, 2 opportunities to get in on calls. The put scenario never presented itself. It just didn't. It simply just didn't. And also, we know that the put scenario had to be below the 5. It had to be below the 5. We're not playing around with puts until underneath the 5. That's just how it works. And if you're not willing to wait for that, then I don't know. All right, this is Chen. I'm trying to understand deeper. So yeah, I would want to join, but the thing is to be so occupied with work. I usually have 2 hours to watch. Low key, want to quit so I could focus on this. No, take your time, man. Take your time. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Take your time, paper trade for a little bit. I would feel much better if you took your time, understood what you're getting yourself into, instead of just jumping in because you feel yourself, you may feel some FOMO here because, this is absolute perfection. And I'm telling you, there's no one on the internet doing what I'm doing. It doesn't not like this. No one's walking you through verbally, level by level, candle by candle, play by play. No one's doing it. Nobody. And here's the thing. If I was wrong, we're not going to get it right 100% of the time. I've been very fortunate. I've had the record that I do, and I don't take it for granted. But, if there's a time where the play doesn't hit, you got to forgive me for that. We got to look at the rest of the record. And if you're not able to hold and let the play, it's pretty much like, it's like, all right, if let's say we're playing whatever sport you like, I'm going to say basketball, right? If we're playing basketball and the rule states you can't run with the ball in your hand, and you keep running with the ball in your hand, you're going to get called foul or traveling every time. You're going to get called for traveling every time. So you have to play within the rules. And if the rules are, you need to wait, right? These are the rules. You need to allow the play to play out. If you keep, in here, if you're playing around in here without understanding, we got a weak cycle coming in. At least wait for the weak cycle to end. At least wait for that. At minimum, we have to wait for that. Right? So if you don't play within the rules, there's no way. You're just gonna get called traveling every single time, or offsides, whatever sport you wanna, or icing, whichever sport it is you wanna. But we have to play within the rules, or else you're just gonna keep going negative and negative and negative. Allow it to happen. I'm telling you where your stop losses needed to be. I'm telling you, if you're in calls, weak cycle coming up. And not only that, I'm drawing exactly what needs to happen. And let's say this didn't happen. I gave you the setup to the other side, right? The setup to the other side. So let's say we get stopped out on calls. I'm telling you exactly what the next setup is ahead of time. So we just needed to allow this to break and close below this, what is this? This teal. And now look. Top of the lick box. This is perfection. And I know it's the hard part is dealing with this stuff right here. That's why I'm telling you, know who you are as a trader. Know who you are. It's going to be much easier for you because you're going to understand your risk tolerance. This is all about risk tolerance. Who can tolerate the red candle? Who can wait for the play to play? You at least got to wait for it to play out. That's all I'm saying. Wait for it to play out minimum. I'm being very specific when I'm telling you where your stops need to be. Very specific. I couldn't be any more specific than what I was. I gave the exact level where your stops needed to be. And I kept telling you about this 1054. There's a reason why I have it highlighted. There's a reason why. It's highlighted for a reason. You notice I don't have any work down here. All the work I did up here. All the work, I don't have any work down here. All my work I did was up here. All right, Chen said, so if I had 1K hold, I'm down 300, I'd be in pain. I was down 30, so I was chilling. Know your limits. Yeah, for sure. You got to know your risk tolerance. Now, everything I preach is risk management, how to manage that risk. Managing the risk is what we're doing. That managing the risk is the key, because we all have, in order to even play around in the stock market, we have to take some amount of risk. We just have to put the odds in our favor. Certain things need to happen to make up, to have a informed decision on if we're going whatever direction. Certain things need to happen. You know, and I also said, let it be obvious to you. Let it be obvious to you. You know, if the drawing that I have on the screen wasn't obvious, fine. Then at least, you know, look at this candle, and then I have 71054 highlighted. Look exactly where it, look at this. It broke, it retested, and rejected. So if this isn't obvious enough, then I don't know what is. I simply don't know what is. And if you're new and you're having a hard time understanding, now we're going through the lesson. if you didn't take a trade, don't feel FOMO now. Now is when you're like, I just learned something. What we just learned here is more valuable than, because you can take this on with you as long as you're in this Discord, right? You're always going to have that now. Now you know what I'm talking about. Now you know what I'm saying. Know who you are as a trader. Put your stops where they need to be and let the play out. It's very rare that I'm wrong. I'm not saying I get it right all the time. What I am saying is, if we manage our risk properly, even if I do get it wrong, we're going to be fine because we know where the setup is on the other side. This is all I'm saying. And if you're on YouTube and you're listening and you're interested, this takes time. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. The amount of time it's going to take is however much time you get comfortable with being uncomfortable. When I'm saying uncomfortable is when I'm saying, who's holding, either you're taking profit at key level or you're holding for the weak cycle. Here's the weak cycle that I called out. I said it very clearly out loud. Very clearly. So the amount of time you take to be profitable is the amount of time you're going to be a robot and say, hey, look, my stop is here. I'm safe. My stop is down here where LST said it should be. I'm safe. It hasn't been touched yet. As a matter of fact, all it's doing is exactly what he drew. It's doing exactly what he drew. So let's say you went in on puts, right? Let's play this out. Let's say you went in on puts because you saw the bear flag and you, for some reason, was like, you know what? This fool, maybe you got fooled here. That's happened to me before, where a wick, you think a wick has some strength to it, so you want to get in ahead of time instead of waiting for it to close because you're like, if I wait for it to close, then I'm gonna have to deal with drawdown. I don't want to deal with that. So let's say you went in here, right? Let me zoom in. Let's go through it. I'm going to show you how it's very hard to be wrong twice in a row when you're trading with me. Very hard to be wrong twice in a row because I'm always going to set you up for the other side if we get it wrong. Luckily, we don't get it wrong that often, or, hardly ever. But anyways, listen. So let's say you went in early. You preemptively jumped in on the play. You front run the play. Let's say you front run the play because it wicked on this teal, right? If your stop was where it should have been, so you went in on put. Oh yeah, your stop should have been at, what is this? The last high, 1054, right? At 1054. So that means you would have been stopped out at 1054. You understand that we broke the purple instead, and now you're in calls until the next level of liquidity, which is at minimum the top of the lick box. So you went in, let's say, where to break? Okay, from here, so if you went in here to here and you get stopped out here, cool story, because look at the money on the other side. Look at the money on the other side. So if you would have done it, to a T, how the strategy works, you would have been stopped out. You would have waited for an entry above 54, whatever, for puts, for calls, and then look at the money on the other side. So either you would have mitigated your loss significantly, or you'd be in profit by now. You'd be in profit by now. So this is how it works. This is how it works. Or if your next setup was wait for the break and retest above this lick box, then look. Then you're mitigating the loss. Right now as we speak, now the loss is being mitigated. Because if you got stopped out at 1054, right? Let's say you went in on puts somewhere here. You got stopped out on 1054. You turn around and you wait for the call scenario, which is the break and retest above. Now your loss is mitigated at minimum. At minimum, your loss is mitigated, right? We're all seeing it happen in real life. And this is all written down in the lessons. It's all there. It's all there. And if you didn't know, now you know. Now you know. Look. You see the break and retest. So if you got stopped out here, here's the break and retest. I have the play on the screen as we speak. So your loss is either significantly mitigated or you're in profit. These are the only two options. This is why I'm saying it's very hard to be wrong twice in a row. Very hard. Very hard. You have to actively work against yourself to be wrong twice in a row. Okay, so Chen, this is from one of the members. He says you should stay with your job until you feel confident and build up your account. I agree. One of the homies, Cruz, he's telling you to take your time. Don't rush. I'm a survivor. Yeah, build and then you know what you need to do is build up that paper trade account, because the paper trade account is going to be the data that you need. You need that data. Everybody's rooting for you, Chen. Everyone's rooting for you, bud. They're all talking about you, but the paper account, very important. Very important. So you can learn the strategy and you know if it's going to work. And then you need a little bit of time in the market so you can say, okay, all I'm doing is surviving a weak cycle. LST has the path already on the screen. I'm always going to have the both paths on the screen. I'm always going to give you the way out. Now, the only time, full transparency, that we might see some issues if it's late in the day. $10,000. Doug. Here's the thing. Once you get to the 10,000, then you're gonna be like, you know what? Infinite money glitch. I'm good. You need to have a few months of bills and stuff like that. And either way, this takes. I don't want to say it takes years, because then it's going to sound like I'm just trying to string you along, right? String you along for $150. But it takes time. I don't know how much time, but it took me years. Yeah, it took me years, and I'm still trying to get better. Okay. Oh, okay. I got you. Just to have it. I got you. To play with, money to play with. I got you. But even me, myself, I'm still getting better. I'm still trying to improve. The red candles still scare me out sometimes. So, I do fine. I do okay. But it took me a while. And I don't want everyone listening or any of the Discord members to think, we found the infinite money glitch. My mistake, once I started drawing paths and they were hitting, was like, okay, I have the infinite money glitch. I literally named one of my charts Infinite Money Glitch. I literally named it IMG. I actually had two of them. So you can name these charts on, look at the money we printed today. Look at the money we printed. Phenomenal day. Phenomenal day. Even on a Friday. Let me go ahead and put the win. I'll put the win. Technically it's on the break of this purple, but if you took the break of this purple, no big deal. Same. Same. Also, another thing I want to point out is you see that, the body went above the wick right here, the body above, and then the wick went a little bit below here. So it's not going to be precise, to the damn penny when I'm drawing these paths. You have to remember, I'm drawing this junk freehand, and I got carpal tunnel, right? So I'm drawing it freehand. You got to give me a little bit of grace. What's more important is you don't follow the path. You look at the price and you use the exit strategies that I provide. Use those entry and exit strategies that I provide. This is our best bet. This is our best bet. And if you didn't take a trade and you're like, gosh, damn it, because look, this price action scared you out, there's nothing wrong with that. You need to get this experience, and you need to understand what I'm saying, where the stops need to be. Don't worry, you're going to be fine as long as you follow the strategy. Following is the hardest part, and it's not that you can't follow instructions. That's not the issue. The issue is the fear, the human emotion that gets involved. It's not because there's something wrong with you. That's not it. You know, it's the human factor. The human, even this right here. Look at this big red candle, or these two red candles, right? This would scare anybody out. I get it. But when, you know, it's important that I'm saying, or you understand what I'm saying, that certain things need to happen, and you can have a higher level of confidence when those things happen. Because if those things happen, then we know that the market has to fill the orders somewhere, right? What's going to happen? You think certain levels of liquidity are going to break and retest, and then the market's just going to stay flat? It doesn't work like that. They have to fill it. The market has to fill the orders. It's a computer that's taking orders. The orders have to be filled. Once certain things happen, we have a high likelihood of success. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to be 100%. We've been very fortunate throughout this year and a half. We've been very fortunate. You know, I've only been doing live streams for a year and a half now. So only by the grace of God, you know, we're here right now. Only by the grace of God. And when you see the price keep going, and you're thinking, damn, I could have got in, or I should have got in. Instead of thinking shoulda, woulda, coulda, you need to have your sights set on the future, right? Now that you have this information, how do you apply it? This is what you need to be focused on. Looking back, what you coulda, woulda, shoulda done. I'm not saying to not reference the history, because we need data, right? Because that's just data. History's data. So you need that data, but if you mentally dwell on it, it's going to drag you down. It's going to be your Achilles heel. Be amped. Be excited for the future, because no one's teaching this type of shit like I am. I'm telling you, it doesn't exist. No one's giving exact. And even if you don't want to sit here and learn it, fine. It's not for everybody. I get it. No one wants to sit here and look at charts all day. I get it. And you know, it could be hazardous to your health. You could develop carpal tunnel. But what I'm saying is, you need to stick to the strategy. That's it. Yeah, I get it, Chen. That's just math. That's just math. That's simple math. Very simple math. And another thing that happens when we're in a trade is, I hate to say it, but we think too much. We think too much. We think we know more than what the charts are actually telling us in real time. Our bias will kick in and say, yeah, but Trump said this, or oil's doing this, and the NASDAQ is doing this. We're not trading oil. We're not trading Trump. And we're not trading the NASDAQ. We're trading SPY. So SPY needs to tell us. SPY needs to tell us, right? Because it's an amalgamation of the top 500 companies. So certain sectors are going to do better. So we're not going to have the same type of drawdown or increase as other tickers. It's an average. So we can, let's stick with what we got. All right. So Chen says, low key, that was me for real. That's how I lost everything trading Trump/Iran war. the market knows what you're thinking. They know what you're thinking already. They know everyone has an expectation and everyone has a bias. And that's when the whales swoop in and take advantage and make you exit liquidity. This has happened to me so much, whatever you just said, that now I'm numb. I became numb to the pain and I started like revenge trading type stuff. And then once I got over that, I'm like, okay, it's time to take this serious. It's time to take this serious. If I want to create something for myself and I want to make this an actual business, then I need to, if y'all want to win, just take the opposite trades I take. All right. Sec clamps. Damn, I hope I'm saying that right. Or maybe it's sexy lamps. It could be sexy lamps or sec clamps. All right, I'm going to call you, 1186. I don't know which one. Sexy lamps or sec clamps? Huh. Sexy lamp sounds better. All right, sexy lamps. Felt the clamps, damn it. Listen, we've all been there, right? And sometimes some people, they need to touch the damn stove to feel that heat. Like, oh, that burns. So that was me. I needed to feel that heat. And after a while, I'm like, you know what? I need to stop listening to me because I clearly have no idea what the shit I'm guessing. Instead of listening to me, why don't I just let the charts tell me what's happening? This changed everything for me. Once I got over bias, now we all have a bias or else we wouldn't even take a trade, period. Right? We would never take a trade if we don't have some type of bias. However, the charts will tell us everything we need to know. I mean, I held negative 100 plus negative 20 better than normal. Okay. All right. I can't call you sexy, so I'm going to call you lamps. All right, lamps. Take your time. When you're ready, go to the website, livespytrading.com. I'm going to get you sorted. I'm giving away free sessions. If you want to see what's going on inside the Discord, I recommend joining Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday night or, Sunday night's probably your best bet. Join Sunday night, go through, look at the lessons, all that junk, and you'll see what's going on in here. But take your time. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. I just been very fortunate. Right? Look at the money we printed today. This is crazy. Look at the perfection on it. Your eyes, I don't know, maybe your eyes are lying to you, but all right, for anyone that's just joining, let me explain what happened. Early this morning, I drew the setup for the Discord members. I explained where the stop losses need to be. I identified the exact entry. The entries would have been on the break of this purple or the break of this purple. And we see the result. Right? So there's not much more I can do other than give the answers. Unfortunately for YouTube, what I do is whenever I'm drawing up plays for the Discord members, I put it on, I give a little setup in progress, stand by for the Discord members. If you want to be a part of it, if you want to invest in yourself, you need to invest in yourself. That's the answer. Like, I'm literally trying to help people. You need to invest in yourself because you're not going to take it serious if you don't have any skin in the game. Look at the money that's being printed. Look at the money. And I explained. Oh man, look at this money that's being printed. If you waited for the break and retest of this lick box right here, you're welcome. You're welcome. That was free for everybody in the world. But if you really wanted to make money today, you needed to follow whatever the shit is right here that I have drawn here with the exact entries. That's what you needed to follow. Because I told everyone we're not looking for puts until under the 5. Don't even look for puts until under the 5. Or if you want safety, look for calls when this breaks, retests, and rejects, just like it is right now. So I've done my job today. If anyone out there is interested in learning how to do this, you need to go to the website right there, livespytrading.com. I'm going to get you sorted. You don't have to listen to hold on, just one question. Since the entry passed, are you still in the trade? That's a personal journey, right? So I give, you know what? That's a good question. The question is, am I still in the trade? First of all, it doesn't matter, right? The reason why I don't put my P&L, the reason why I don't put anyone else's comments saying, hey, look, I made so much money, is because to me, those are sales tactics from slimy used car salesmen. What my spiel is, look at the information that's right in front of you that I'm doing live and in real time. And if that doesn't click in your head, then you're not built for this. If you're a normal, regular, individual human being person, and you can't understand that I'm telling people exactly what's going to happen, what it's going to look like, and when to enter, where to put your stop, and how to exit, if you don't understand that I'm doing that, then this ain't for you. Because I don't want to just people to join to be like, you know, if I'm being honest, before I started doing this, I was in trading communities myself, and I got taken advantage of. I can tell you that. I got taken advantage of. So my goal is not to, I don't want to be like that. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be different because I'm pretty sure we're more similar than we are different. And I care about people. I'm doing this to help people. And the reason why there's a paywall is because if you're not going to invest in yourself, then why would I invest in you? If you're not going to put any skin in the game, then obviously you're telling me that you are not worth it. And it's not for everybody. And also, it's just not for everyone. It's not for everyone. If the $150 a month is too much, then you shouldn't be in this. This is not for you. And that's not a knock on anybody. That's just saying you're not ready yet. There's going to be a time where you are. But if you're here watching this and you're interested and you see what's going on right in front of your face, that I'm literally drawing in real time, what's going to happen, when to enter, you know, it's not for everybody. And it's going to be hard. Excuse me. Let me calm down my Alzheimer's. It's going to be difficult for people to gain any value from joining my Discord if they can't understand very basic concepts. You know, and the basic concept here is a color break of purple. When the price goes above this purple, buy calls, hold for the week cycle. We're targeting 1121. And if you're waiting for safety, a break and retest of this lick box right here. If you're still confused what you should do with your life, then it's not for you. I don't want anyone in here just to get their money, because I don't need the money, right? I don't need the money. I want people to be successful. That's what I want. And it's going to take time. It's not a get rich quick scheme. I don't want to give the wrong impression. We've been very, very, very fortunate over this since February 3rd, 2025. We've been very fortunate. But as Liam Neeson would say, I have a very special set of skills. I have a very special set of skills, and I had a dream. God told me to help people. That's what I'm trying to do. And everything I'm saying, you can ask any of the Discord members. It's all true. It's all gonna happen. It's going to happen. And if we're not being successful, it has to be because we're not following the strategy. It has to be that. It has to be. But I get it. It's, you know, when you see red candles like this, you know, even though LST just said, are you going to hold for the week cycle? Yes or no? Figure out your life. Even though I said it, you know, seeing these red candles like this, that's not easy. So I get it. I used to be like that too. I was like, hey, look, let me lose $25 now instead of $75 in 10 minutes. That's what I used to think. I used to think like that. And I know that if I thought like that, chances are other people think the same. So it's going to take you time until you get slapped in the face enough to realize, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to hold on to this trade a little bit longer. Maybe the trade isn't 45 seconds. Maybe the trade is 45 minutes. Maybe the trade's 25 minutes. Right? So I think once we get there, that's when you're gonna see a difference in your trading. That's when you're seeing a difference in your P&L. That's when you're gonna feel a difference in your confidence whenever you see a red candle. Because as long as you trade like a gosh darn robot, because that's what you're trading against, right? Robots. There's a computer that has to fill the orders. That's what you're trading against. And the robot doesn't give a damn. It's gonna fill the orders wherever it needs to. Yeah. On Thursday, I had to wait 45 minutes. And on Wednesday, the day before, I had to, or maybe sometime earlier that week, I waited another like 40, 45 minutes. But I waited. Actually, yesterday, everyone heard me. I was like, I gotta hold. I gotta wait. Now I gotta wait. Everyone heard me. And I'm trying to get better. And I'm glad I did. Because that win was, man, I was very proud of myself. Because I'm getting better myself. We're all in this together. You know, even though I'm a random voice on the other end of the screen, I'm probably very not personal, but I'm close with the Discord. We all talk. I'm not some guy that you're never gonna have communication with. I'm always there. Yep, that's Doug. What you're saying that is, they prey on our fears. They prey on that. Okay, I remember. We had good talks. And look, none of this is easy. And it's not that it's difficult because, you know, this is beyond our comprehension or because nothing like that. This is difficult because the red candles scare you out. That was me. And it took me quite a while before, you know, because even though I would draw the gosh darn path, even though I would draw the path far in advance for myself, this is before I started live streaming. Maybe a little bit of weakness coming in on this teal right here, so be careful. If it wants to continue, there's going to be a strong candle push, right, to touch this top teal. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying. I'm old. Ignore me. But if you took this purple here, you're welcome. You are welcome. Enjoy it. Today's a pretty good Friday, huh? Pretty good Friday. But here's another thing I want to convey to everyone listening and watching right now. I don't feel the need to flex certain things like a greasy used car salesman. Yapping. We enjoy it. Chen said I'm yapping. I could just sit here quiet. And we could just watch candles. Oh man. But I have to bring some type of entertainment, right? Something has to be at least to make people want to listen. Oh, all right. We could talk about conspiracy theories. Go ahead. Just don't get the channel shadow banned. All right, ready? 9/11, go. 9/11, true or false? No, don't bring it up. Don't get me shadow banned. I get shadow banned enough. Whenever I make my end of day, I used to make end of day videos. I'll make some again, I guess. No one watches it, so I don't make them anymore. But the end of day videos, when I made those, they kept shadow banning me because I would say the truth, and they'd be like, "What was it? Misleading content." I'm like, misleading? What? What do you mean? I literally just said the truth. I think they frown on day trading and stuff like that. All right, let me see something. Trent said I'm yapping. All right, look, remember that strong candle push we wanted to see to the top of this teal? Man, I get lucky sometimes, huh? I get lucky sometimes. Damn. I'm just going to clean up the chart. This is already played out. Just going to clean up the chart. I get lucky sometimes. I literally just said this is going to happen. Anyways, I want to check something. I'm still here. I'm just checking on something. Okay, here we go. 17. Okay. All right, I think I want to screen share. I'm going to do a screen share real quick. I'll do a screen share really quick. So on our trading plans, one of the setups, I want to point out one of the setups. Here we go, watch. I'm going to screen share so the stream's going to cut for a second. All right, watch this. We're in the Discord. I give the setups before the market opens. This is in Pacific Standard Time, by the way. All right, so we're going to look for the micro cup and handle right here. Micro cup and handle, we want to see the price dip down to, what is this? Like 709-ish, around 709, or a little bit below 709, and then push up. So this is one of the setups. We want to see if this is going to happen. And then if we look at real life, look at it. Look at this, right above 709, right? Right above 709. Look at that. So what I'm trying to say is, we already know what the setups need to look like. That's what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is we already know what they need to look like. And if you're on YouTube watching and you're trying to figure out life, you're trying to make this a thing, if I haven't convinced you by now, there's nothing that's going to convince you. So it doesn't make sense to waste your time. Don't waste your time. Because if you really want to make this a thing for yourself, you need to invest in yourself. If you think it's going to happen trading off of YouTube, it's not. Because I give all the answers on the 5-minute chart. The 5-minute chart is, here, look. What's going to happen is I'm going to do this. Bang. And then I put the setups on the 5-minute chart, so you're not going to see it. Anyways, if you really want to make it a thing for yourself, you need to invest in yourself. I need to get up and circulate some blood. I got a bad heart. So I'm going to circulate some blood. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. BRB, as they say. All right, look. So this teal is holding up, right? This teal right here, it's holding up. Remember this morning when I switched it from blue to the teal? Now you see why. Now you see why. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. I'm just gonna circulate some blood and take a quick break. All right, I'm back. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. Still winning. Cool story. Cool story. This teal's holding up pretty well. Pretty well. Let's So look, another exit strategy that I have is we're in the teal or we're in whatever the movement is until we're not, right? So we're in this until we're not. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to set the Discord members up for the plays when I leave because I'm about to call it. We're about to call it a day. Well, we're going to let this play out, but Give me a second, YouTube. I'm gonna go into the Discord. I'm gonna go into the secret room. I'm going into the secret room. A lot of you are probably gonna leave. Have a good day. But here we go. All right, Discord. So I'm gonna use our 5-minute chart. All right. Let me make sure everyone's paying attention. Let me make sure everyone's paying attention. All right, here we go. Here we go. Can you hear me? All right, good. Now, here's one option here, like this, and then like this, and then like this. Okay. If they wanted to get frisky, look for this. If they want to get frisky, okay, look for that. And remember, there's probably going to be, this would be ideal somewhere down here, maybe a little bit lower. Okay, hold on. Let me redraw this. I'm going to redraw this one. I'm actually just going to start it from right here. So this is reasonable, and this is reasonable as well. Okay. So from right now, this is what we're looking at. Okay. Now to the other side, number one, this needs to break. Okay. First of all, this needs to break before we even start looking the other way. And then, let me see. I'm going to extend this lick box just a bit. We'll do this. And then we want to look for this right here. Watch. That. And then possibly this. Okay. So something like this is what we want to look for. And then it's going to be this teal here. Hold on, wait. It's going to be this teal right here. What the heck? Something like that, okay? By this time, it'll change. Never mind. It's not going to be that. I'll show you. Hold on, I'll find it. Give me a second. A little risky here. A little risky. We'll make it orange. This is not exact because I'm going to need to be here for this. This is not exact, but something like this, okay? Something like this. Watch out for that. So if they want to head down, this is the setup, okay? If they're going to continue up, this is ideal. All I'm saying is somewhere down here is ideal. All the way from this area here, this is all turnaround points. This is all turnaround points. All this is liquidity grab turnaround points. Right? So you don't want to fight the trend. You see what the trend is doing. So don't fight the trend too much. If we get down here, then then we can scalp something. From and all these flexions down, you can scalp. Okay, you can scalp and you see to where. So from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, here's going to be your 50-50 right around here. Okay, so these are all the setups. This is what it is. Otherwise, we're just continuing up Because what's going to happen is if it breaks and continues, it's going to look like this. It's just going to form another one of these. And then form another one of these. Just like that. Okay? Just like whatever I have drawn. It's going to look like that, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Actually, you know, this is our... It is what it is. That's what it is. Okay? So I'm going back to real world. There we go. Let me make sure everyone understands. The ramen on screen spicy. No, I'm here. Wait. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Oh, wait. Oh, it's gone. Okay. Does everyone understand what's happening on the 5-minute chart? Oh, okay. I'm just saying those are the risks. Those are all the risks. Because, right, if we're fighting the trend, in my opinion, those are the points where they're going to grab liquidity from if they want to continue up. In my opinion. And also, don't forget, today's Friday. So if they don't finish off that cup and it fades off sideways, it could be after hours or a pre-market type situation where they finish it off then. So if we get long in the tooth late in the day, you know, don't hold on all day because it's Friday. If 13 comes around and there's no serious movement and we get to like 14:30, you're gonna have to wait for the last 10-minute pop, or it's gonna fade off into the sunset just sideways. This is what it is. I'm just telling you what the likely scenarios are. That's all we could do, right? And unfortunately, I'm not gonna be around. Hold on, let me do something. Okay. I think the information is probably already on our trading plan from this morning. It's probably already on the morning trading plan, but we'll see. If they decide to switch something up, or let's say some news comes out, something breaks. Let's say something breaks, right? If they don't just continue doing exactly what we expect them to do, then if something breaks, you now see the liquidity levels that have to be met or broken in order for the next thing to happen. So if something breaks, you know, I'm talking about macroeconomic wise, news wise, you see where they're going to grab liquidity from to make the move. And if you can't wait for that bottom flexion, for the put scenario, if you can't wait for that, and if you're not scalping on the way there, there's nothing I can do, right? Because I'm telling you right now, until we get to that point, it's a scalp scenario. And I'm telling you right now, you don't want to fight the trend. Fighting the trend, not a good idea. Because what I'm afraid is they're going to keep breaking certain, let's say they break this teal, they're going to keep breaking teal, forming a new teal. Break the teal, forming a new teal. I mean, do you guys want me to try to draw the paths a little bit better? I think it's a little difficult because damn carpal tunnel's kicking in. I'm not even lying. I think I actually have carpal tunnel, but it's kicking in. So if I need to draw it a little bit better, so don't focus on the actual path. Parkinson. Don't focus on the path. Look to the right of those flexions and pay attention to the numbers. Okay, pay attention to the numbers, and also remember that at those flexion points are kind of like a range, right? That's where liquidity should be. So when we get to the liquidity, and this is me guessing way ahead of time, I don't know for a fact, but when we get to those liquidity, I get lucky. when we get to those liquidity points, you're going to have to give it wait to see what the range is that they're going to form there. It's going to be a little tiny range. It may not be tiny, it may be wide, depending on the movement. But you have to, whenever that range hits, identify the range, and that's where your stops need to be, either the top or bottom side. But if you're scalping, different story, right? You're chasing the candle either way. If you're scalping, you're going to chase the candle. Okay. I'm going to get out of here soon. Let me borrow this chart. Damn, I can't borrow it. Because everyone's watching. They're all watching. All right, look, I'm going to mark out high a day. We see some heavy resistance at high a day. It's marked out at 1214. I could be off by a little bit, but we see heavy resistance here, right? So this is for YouTube. Look for a break and retest like this for continuation up. Okay. Otherwise, we may see some this is going to be your best bet. And then don't fight the trend too much, right? Take the profit when you can. And this is what it is. So YouTube, go ahead and... Okay. Okay. Wow. Well, that played out perfect. Incredible. Incredible. All right. All right, look. All right. So if they want to get frisky, like I said, if they want to get frisky, you got to wait for this. Otherwise, these are all reasonable. Okay. So just be careful. Stacy, you better adjust that stop. You better adjust that stop, man. Adjust that stop. I'm not saying to stop yourself out, but I think it's going to get a little bit hectic right now. Here, look at my paths. So be careful, okay? If you can't survive all this, you need to adjust your stop. But Stacy with the big victory. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations, Stacy. Hell yeah. Good win. Good win. Good win on the day. A nice little 3-figure day. Easy money. Easy money. Easy money. All right, bud. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend, man. Enjoy your weekend. Yeah, take the money and get out of here. Hey, blue catfish only. God bless you too, brother. All right, Discord. I told everybody which trading plan was hitting. I told you which one, right? Oh, man. Wow. All right, I'm gonna let this settle out just a bit. Don't do that. Watch, whoever sticks around for a little bit, I'm going to show you something crazy. I'm going to show y'all something crazy. Stick around for a little bit on YouTube. Watch, I'm going to show you something crazy. And you can't say that I went ahead of time and did any of this, because I'm going to show you the timestamp. I'm going to show everybody the timestamp. I'm just going to let this settle out a bit. I'm here. I'm just being quiet. I want to see if we can break 1412. You see why I told you don't fight this trend? Don't fight the trend. We'll know. I already have it drawn out. What needs to happen. We'll know. Don't fight the trend. If you're holding calls hoping for a weak cycle, your stops are going to have to be uncomfortable. If we get below 1157, you got to start to look the other way. I'm here. I'm just being quiet.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Okay, that's been my time. We had a good trading session. Let's go over the plays. Early this morning, we identified a inverse head and shoulders. That played out absolutely perfect. We had our entry on the break of this purple right here for the big win. If you're interested in learning how to trade with us, go to livespytrading.com so I can get you sorted out. Discord, I'll be in there in a second. YouTube, it's been a pleasure. And if you want to join, I recommend Sunday night. Join Sunday night. Now, they're going to ask you for that credit card if you want to continue, so it's already in there. You don't have to worry about it. But if not, just hit cancel. No big deal. No love lost. No money lost. Okay? So, if you're interested, sign up. Otherwise, we had a very good week, actually. Discord, I'll be in there in a second. YouTube, it's been a pleasure. You have a good day. Goodbye.